Hello friends and family, my name is Daniel Burrell and welcome to Diary of a Manic. Today we're going to be talking about addictions and withdrawal. We'll talk about what addiction is, why it happens, and how to treat it. We'll also talk about withdrawal symptoms, and we'll talk about Rat Park at the end of the video, which is very interesting, so I hope you watch till the end of the video. Addiction is best described as compulsive and repetitive behaviors leading to a rewarding stimuli, even despite adverse consequences. Addictive stimuli usually opens up the brain's reward pathways and are therefore perceived as being something rewarding and desirable. It's possible to get addicted to many things. Smoking and drinking and gambling are some of the most common stimuli to get addicted to. Hallmarks of addiction include impaired control of substances or behavior, preoccupation with substance or behavior, continued use despite consequences, and denial. Physical dependence occurs when the body has adjusted to the substance or behavior becoming part of a normal function. This is typically when withdrawal occurs if the behavior or substance use ceases. I say typically because a lot of research shows that withdrawal doesn't really have any connections to physical dependence, but I don't know. In the research I did, I found that it had links. But I'm also not, I don't have a degree or anything, so I really shouldn't say anything. Tolerance will start when the physical dependence occurs as well. Tolerance builds up, so the individual will need more of the substance or prolonged behavior to get the same satisfaction. A good example of this is weightlifting. The more you go to the gym and work out, the more weight you'll have to lift to keep on building muscle, hypothetically. Behavioral addiction is a term used to describe an addiction where the compulsion is not substance related. Examples of this are excessive gambling, addiction to a sport, or overeating. Yes, overeating is a behavioral addiction because you're not addicted to the food per se, you're addicted to eating the food. You like how it makes you feel. That's why I look the way I do. So, in behavioral addiction, the term addiction is used to describe recurring compulsion for the individual to engage in a rewarding activity despite harmful consequences, like overeating. So, there's a very varied array of options for treatments for addiction. There are traditional self-help groups and rehabilitation services, as well as, for example, for opiate addiction, a common treatment is methadone maintenance, where you administer opiates under a supervised clinical setting until the opiate levels in your brain are steady for long enough to deter the individual from using heroin. Research is also going into deep brain stimulation to help stop addiction, as well as researchers are trying to develop antibodies which will combat the effect that the drug has on your brain. Recently, vaccines have been developed against cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine, and nicotine. These humans are in vaccine clinical trial right now. These vaccines are in human clinical trial at the moment, and they all show a lot of promise. Withdrawal now is referred to as the characteristics, signs, and symptoms that appear when a drug or behavior that causes physical dependence is used for a long time and then suddenly discontinued or decreased in dosage. Symptoms of withdrawal can vary significantly between individuals and between substances or behaviors. But there are some commonalities. Increased anxiety, depression, cravings are the most common characteristics. In extreme cases, it can lead to suicide. Some individuals are able to quit cold turkey, as others may experience many symptoms from a decreased dosage. Typically, the length of usage determines the severity of withdrawal, though. Withdrawal is considered a more serious medical issue in some substances rather than others. Quitting smoking
quitting smoking, for example, can usually be managed without medical intervention, like the patch or the gum or whatever stupid stuff you use. Alcohol dependency and benzodiazepine, colloquially known as benzos, however, can result in seizures if not handled properly. Quitting cold turkey to alcohol abuse can cause delirium tremens that can be fatal. So now I'm going to talk about Rat Park. This talks a lot about withdrawal symptoms, and it also talks about addiction and environment of addiction. So, Rat Park was an experiment conducted in the 1970s where they gave rats heroin while they lived in two different environments. One environment was cramped metal cages, the other was Rat Park, a 200 square foot housing colony where there was an abundance of food, toys, and wheels for play. There were even private rooms for mating and giving birth and stuff. Very, very strange. So, rats in the cages. Sorry, I said heroin before. Yes, I said heroin before. It wasn't actually. It wasn't heroin. It was morphine laced with hydrochloride. Sorry. The rats in the cages were given morphine laced with hydrochloride. Sorry, can't talk today. For 57 days, then taken to Rat Park, and when they were given the choice between regular tap water and water laced with morphine, most of them chose regular tap water, which is very interesting because that shows how much environment has to do with addiction. This shows environment has a lot to do with addiction and is best shown with soldiers during the Vietnam War. During the wars, soldiers in Vietnam would do heroin. That's where I got heroin. The rats weren't doing heroin, I'm sorry. They would do heroin, and this is equivalent to the rats in the cage. But when the soldiers came home, however, most of them just quit cold turkey with no withdrawal symptoms. Their home was the equivalent of Rat Park, and the environment had such an effect on the soldiers that when they quit cold turkey, most showed no signs of withdrawal. That's so interesting because it's so many drug addicts are either living on the streets or they live in a crappy apartment, but if they just lived somewhere nicer, then perhaps they wouldn't have such trouble with addiction or alcohol abuse or, yeah, I don't know. That's something to think about. Rat Park was not taken very well by the scientific community, however. They thought it was a load of crap, and yeah, it was actually University of BC or something that did it, but yeah, they discontinued it, and that's unfortunate because it showed great promise. But again, I'm not a scientist or a researcher or anything, so I can't really say anything about that. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. I really hope that you enjoy all my videos, and I really hope that you share all my videos, because I really appreciate the likes and subscribers and views, because I'm just trying to get my message out there. I'm trying to spread awareness for mental illness, and I really love doing this, and I'm glad that some of you guys like watching it. So before I get on a 25-minute rant about me loving psychology, I'm gonna shut this off. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a great day this time.